at that point, but then after he passed away, I just continually gained. And then I guess a couple of years after that, I finally looked at my kids. They were 19 and 16 when he passed, and I thought, you know, I don't want my kids to be orphans. I want them to at least have one parent as long as they can. And I wanted that to be a healthy parent. So I woke up one morning and had talked to my boss, who was a Weight Watcher member, and told me about Melba. And she said the ones that meetings she had been to, she thought Melba was the better leader. So I started in on Saturdays and started coming. But I had a guy that I worked with whose wife had a weight problem, and he said, now what can I say to my wife to tell her to start to lose weight? And I said, Kevin, you can't do that. I said, it's right here. I said, you have to decide in your mind, in your heart, that you are ready or it's not going to work. So I just woke up one Saturday and said, okay, this is it. I can't tell you what was different about that Saturday or anything else. But for me, Weight Watchers works because it's very methodical. I can write down in my tracker what I have, and that works for me. I'm not somebody that can use your smartphones or use your e-tools. I need a pencil and I need a paper, because once I write it down, it sticks with me, and that just works for me. But and one thing that has never been a problem for me that I know some people have, I have never had a problem tracking it. Because I guess I have a methodical mind, I've always tracked. Never had a problem with it. And one of my quote-unquote, they say it takes 3 weeks to develop a habit. The one thing that was never a problem and that is a distinct habit with me is tracking. And I track the night before. The night before, I sit there and think, okay, I've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. And so I figure out the night before what I'm going to have. I write it down, and that works for me. And then I was always someone that felt like fresh air and exercise were going to kill me. I mean, there's just no doubt about it, nothing good about it. I started going to the gym even before I started Weight Watchers, because the place I work had a deal. I could join and my kids could join for really cheap. So I got my kids to where they went, and I might go a couple of times a week, get on the treadmill, 20 minutes. Once I started Weight Watchers and started realizing the importance of activity, then I started doing a lot more activity, and now I do pretty much 5 to 6, sometimes 7 times a week. I'm at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm a morning person. So I'm there when they open up. I do my hour on the bike, a little bit of weights. I mean, I don't get real crazy with the weights. And then there are some times in the afternoons that I will go and do a little bit more on the bikes, because that's my reading time. I take as my children like to call it, my smut books. And I sit there and I read my smut for an hour. And you would be surprised how quick that hour goes when you're reading smut. And you don't feel like you're exercising, but when you're done and you're soaking wet, for me, it works. But and that has become a habit for me. It's like if I don't get my activity in, my whole day is off. It's like brushing my teeth. It's just what you do. And the one other thing another thing is going through my house and getting rid of double stuffed Oreos, chips, and replacing them. Now, I'm a sweetaholic. I'm the first to admit it. I've learned better sweets. I do a lot of the Weight Watcher snacks, a lot of their pop stuff, and then just finding everything fat-free, sugar-free, whatever, and didn't think I could enjoy the taste, but I don't even notice the difference anymore. My son comes in and goes, Mama, don't you have anything that's not sugar-free or fat-free? And I went, nope. Hey, so fruit eater at all. I mean, it just was, not one of my major food groups. I have definitely learned to eat better. I eat a lot of fruits. A lot of fruit, not a lot of different fruits. But the ones I like, I do eat. And for me, the other day, I thought, I've got to go to the grocery store. I don't have a piece of fruit in my house. 5 years ago, forget it. That would never have happened, ever. But it took me I fluctuate between 65 and 70 pounds weight loss, just depending. And it took me about 18 months between 16 and 18 months to lose that. When I was actively losing, I was losing on the average of about 8 pounds a week. Not a week.
A month.
God, I wish. No, 8 pounds a month. See, I did the same thing.
I rubbed off on you.
I know. About 8 pounds a month. And I was real fortunate in that I didn't have a lot of ups and downs when I was actively losing. I kind of just had a pretty steady weight loss. I don't think if there's anything else. The meetings for me are a must. I've been at goal. I reached goal in June or July of 2008 because I started in 07. I need the meetings. I know a lot of people do online. No way. I need these meetings. I need to come here and I need to hear what other people have to say. Plus the great tips you get. Oh, you can find, this bread here. Or you can get, that's the biggest thing for me is because I hate to shop, so I can hear where other people have been. But the meetings refocus me, and I need that refocus every week. Now, over the Christmas holidays, I didn't do quite so good. But the one thing that I know now, even if I gain, I know now how to get back. That's, if nothing else, Weight Watchers has taught me what I need to do to get back on track, and get back where I need to be after just going off the wagon. But like I said, the meetings for me are the most important. And I think I started March of 07. I maybe might have missed 2 meetings out of all of that. I mean, they are that important for me to maintain because I would come when I first came and hear people talking about how this is my 2nd or 3rd time and I'm back. I thought I could do it on my own. I can't do it on my own. I know that. I know that my limitation, and I can't. I need the meetings. I need the focus. I need the accountability to be here for that. So, for me, like the thing says, it works. It definitely works for me.
Lisa,
Yes, ma'am.
how do you look at your life differently now than what you did before?
Well, for me, I feel like I'm not a bump on the log like I used to feel I was, just getting by, and I have more energy.
Okay.
I feel more vital.
Okay.
I feel, and this is vanity kicking in, I like the fact that my 2 boys are proud of me, and they're very supportive. If they want to go out and eat, Mom, do you have points? Can you go here? Can you go, that is one of the biggest things for me. And when my son told a friend of his that I'd become a gym rat, I felt really good about it.